lesson 6 on promotion, and this one's focusing on segmenting. But to start things off, you've got Kevin. Pay attention to Kevin as you go through. He's going to introduce the task. Pay attention to King Bob. He's going to read anything in case there's a big chunk of text. Dave gives you anything extra information. Carl gives you your instructions. So do what King Bob says. Get your headphones on, which you should have by now anyway. Right, the learning intention today is about segmenting the market. That topic is pretty big, so we're going to break it down into 2 parts. First of all, we're just going to look at segmenting the market to make sure you've understood it, and we're going to look at probably the easier one that you've covered in geography, which is segmenting by this posh word called demographic. If you're like Stuart and you're going, "What?" then don't worry about it. It's segmenting the market. It's about demographics. And that's where we are on our learning journey through promotion, and the lesson's going to help you understand that word. Yes, Stuart is the new one. Stuart's the one that's probably you're looking at this lesson going, "What?" quite a few times. So Stuart is here to explain to you what you've got to get done for this lesson. These are the actual tasks. This is your task list. There are 5 things that you will be expected to do. Number 1, you'll be looking at finding some examples, so that's finding images on inform, remind and persuading customers. Number 2 is B2B or B2C. I'm not going to reveal what that is yet, and you've just got to delete the Y or the N for the yes, no's, and you've got 2 little definitions to do. Then there's a little bit of digging around for you to do on number 3, which is your brand analysis table. It sounds very posh, but it's about you thinking, choosing some brands and then looking at who they're communicating with. And then we start to get a bit more specific. I give you particular products. Number 4, a car on a holiday, and you've got to look at what segments of the market are going for a car on a holiday, and you can choose. And then number 5, it's pretty much looking at what you can put together. So what you've learned so far, you've covered the elements or methods in the promotional mix, the 5 methods as you can see in the diagram, and for each method there has to be a clear message. Now the message usually focuses on features and benefits of the enterprise or the company, or it focuses on the products offered by that particular company. Right, sticking with some learning you've done so far, we are going to have a quick revision task for you. You're going to look at finding some images, that's all. I want you to find 3 images or clips or snips, whatever you want to do, about any company you want, which demonstrates informing customers through their advertising or sales promotion, reminding customers or persuading customers about the features and benefits of their products or their brand. So you can choose a snip of an advert, and in that advert it can be about, I don't know, McDonald's. Let's try that one. And McDonald's is reminding you about their values, the benefits of the brand, the fact that they have all natural products in their chicken nuggets. Now that would be one which is a remind advert. If you're still feeling a little bit stuck, then Stuart and Dave are there to talk you through your moment. So if you were thinking of a sales promotion, if you can find a sales promotion which tells you about a particular price of a product, then that is informing customers. And a persuading example would be about, buy it now, you really want this. Those are the kinds of persuading words that will be in the promotion. All the things that you've covered in your persuasive writing in English, think about those, and those will help you find out which examples to put in the table. And just copy and paste the 3 images into the spaces in the blue table. Right, so here's your second task, B2B or B2C. What these actually mean are business to business or business to customers. So let's just break that down. Business to business means anything from, say, a car manufacturer, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, read the slide, there's one on there. If a car manufacturer is making the car, are they actually selling directly to us, the customer. Now that means we can rock up to Ford factory and buy the car, which is not exactly true. Oops, sorry, I might have mentioned the car dealer. Oops, didn't mean that one. Or do they sell directly to a Ford dealer? Oh God, here I go again, I've dropped it in. So maybe I'm putting that one on a plate about which one we need to say. So a business to business is one that's a company makes a product and sells it directly to another company. A business to customer is one that makes the product and it goes straight into a shop where us, the customer, can go and access that product straight away. If you look through the examples, that's probably going to make it more sense to you. Right, here's the final bit of the task. You've got the definitions. So business to business, there were a couple of examples of those above where you needed to get rid of the N, the no, and you just leave the Y for the yes. There were a couple of business to customers, and you need to do exactly the same to actually, so you've got two examples of each. So down here, if you've been paying attention to Kevin, then you should get your definitions in the blue boxes written here of what a business to customer, B2C, is, and what a B2B is, business to business. Customer decisions. So promotional strategies using images and emotive language can be very effective when selling in B2C, business to customer markets, as customer decisions are so often influenced by their individual needs and feelings. As well as these factors, decisions in B2C, remember that, B2C markets might be based on a number of other things, as shown in the diagram below. Carl's here to introduce you to the task, which you're going to do on the next slide. So you need to, number one, choose 3 brands that you are familiar with. Anything that you want, as long as they can be discussed in school. So, for example, you might want to include a coffee brand, a brand of car, a brand of clothing, anything like that. So your choice. Number 2, for each of the brands you choose, you're going to discuss the factors that have contributed to that brand identity by writing down a list of words you associate with the brand. What that means is, if you think of a brand, McDonald's, then you kind of come up with words that you think help describe that brand. Now, this isn't about whether you like it or not, it's about the words you think that help describe that brand. That's what number 2 is. And number 3, what promotional strategies might the companies have used to create their brand identities? So what are they doing in terms of an emotional response? Are they showing value for money? Are they showing features and benefits? Are they coming up with brand identities? Things like you can see on that diagram. Or if you think back to your first task where we were looking at inform, remind and persuade, which one of those are they doing? And those are the things you're going to need to think about. So here's Kevin introducing the table. This is the table you've got to produce. You need to come up with 3 brands of your own decision, and you put the logos in the first row on the table. Then in the second row you're going to look at what words you think describe it, and in the last row you're going to look at promotional methods that you think they've used. So brand analysis, by completing the table, you've actually done that fancy word, brand analysis. Right, Carl, remember, tells you what you've got to get done. So 3 images, first row, then you've got 5 words per square, so that's 15 words you need to write in, and then a bit of thinking on the bottom row about the methods that they've used. So Dave's going to give you that little bit of extra help, a bit of information. The key bit of information is actually on the last slide. It's that diagram with the bubble chart, the flow chart, with mind map. That's the word. I forgot the word. Must be this lockdown nonsense just kicking in. Anyway, it's the mind map where you're actually looking at what the companies, what these brands are doing to help promote who they are, to help get across a message to their target, to their potential customers. Well, if you're still stuck, like Stuart's face says, here's an example for you. So let's take the brand Lidl. So I'd put a Lidl logo in the top row, then the 5 words which describe what I think that brand means. I'm probably going to take a bit of license with the 5 words and go for 5 phrases. I'd say value for money, fast service, no frills, cheap. The quality thing, I did a bit of research and we looked it up on their website, and they think they provide quality products at market leading value. So those are all the words and phrases I'd write in that middle row. Now the promotional methods at the bottom, I'd say they very much move and use informing customers and lead about their pricing, especially in their advertising. But they do very minimal advertising. Only now and again do you see them on the TV. But their main one would be sales promotion, because they very much rely on their customer magazine. They also rely on their in-store advertising, because they have those posters down by the tills where they actually got product offers. So that's informing again, leading on price. They don't normally use the bog offs, the buy one get one free, but they very much live by once it's gone, it's gone. So overall, I'd say the promotional methods is very much sales promotion, very much informing, and product features and product price. Kevin's now going to talk to you and move the lesson forward very much on market segmentation now. So as you can see from the image, this is about the market as a whole, and then how we can divide up that market. Why markets are divided. No two people are the same. Everybody has different needs, wants, characteristics and personal preferences. Because of these individual differences, very few products are able to meet the needs of everyone. Even a product like milk is available as a variety of different types for different people. After all, there's blue milk, green milk, red milk, purple milk, there's organic milk, you name it in terms of milk. So the blue line represents the market as a whole, so that's everybody who could potentially buy a product. Let's break this market down into its simplest form. So let's say everybody on the yellow segment, they're everyone who has personal preferences of liking Star Wars. And the orange segment represents everyone who likes Marvel. The blue segment is about all those customers who like Lord of the Rings toys. The red segment represents all those who like Peppa Pig toys. Yes, that exists. And the green segment represents only those who like Harry Potter toys. This last segment though is more realistic when you think about it. It's made up of lots of people who do have very different characteristics and personal preferences. The colour segments we have just been through are segmenting the market in its very, very simplest forms. So what we're going to look now at, as we just go through the lesson further, is actually how you genuinely segment and divide up the market, and exactly what the characteristics and the personal preferences are used in order to divide the market. Markets can be divided into different sections or market segments, as you've seen a very simplistic version on the last slide. However, in reality, each segment is made up of customers who have similar characteristics and needs, hence the segment we're going to discuss. The process of analysing a market and identifying the different segment is known as market segmentation. Why segment the market? There are several benefits of segmenting a market for enterprises. 1, they are able to understand the characteristics and needs of their customers better. 2, they can develop goods and services for a specific market segment so that the product or service is better suited to that particular segment. 3, they can identify and choose a target market to specialise in. 4, they can choose promotional strategies that are better suited to their target market. So if you're feeling a bit like Stuart, a bit stuck on that one, let's think of some examples. So number 1, understand the characteristics and needs of the customers better. Think of Coke. Think of all the different variations of Coke there are. Number 2, developing goods and services for a specific market segment. Well, think about all the range of trainers that Nike produce, with all the different designs they put into it. Number 3, a specialist target market. Well, Aston Martin cars, obviously. And number 4, promotional strategies better suited to their target market. New look, advertising on Instagram would be a really good example of that one. So your task. Below are examples of 3 different families. Family 1, 2 parents with 3 children, aged 3, 5 and 8, what you'd call a young family. Family 2, a newlywed couple, both aged 29. And then family 3, a couple married for 35 years with 2 children who have left the home, also called empty nest families. So what you need to do is, for each of these families, you need to come up with a suitable choice that they would make if they were buying a new car and if they were buying a holiday. So in the green table, going down in the columns, find an image that you think is the new car that family 1 would go for, and it's about their needs now, not what you like. Family 2, about the newlywed couple for their car, and family 3 for the empty nesters, what car they would like. But also a holiday. So you've got to think about what types of holiday each of them would go for. Now, if you can't find the image, then you can use words to describe it. That's absolutely fine. But the bottom line is the most important. You need to justify your decision, why you chose that particular car or holiday, and because how you think that matches that type of person. That's the crux of this task. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. This is the demographic segmentation that we've been building towards. This is the first way a company tends to segment their market. Demographic information refers to the key characteristics of a population. Now, those of you who do geography should have come across this already, and here are the full range of factors that contribute to this demographic segmentation. So you've got age, gender, income, social class, ethnicity, religion and family size. Age is infants, teenagers, young adults and over 65s all have very different tastes and interests. Clothes are typically targeted at different age groups. Gender. Men and women have different tastes and needs. Toiletries are an example of a product segmented by gender. Income. People with higher income have more disposable income, spending money, to spend on luxury goods such as designer watches and clothing brands. Social class. Socioeconomic groups are based on income and the types of occupation a person has. For example, social grade B is middle class and covers people employed as intermediate managers, teachers and nurses. Ethnicity. Many different ethnic groups live in the UK. Increasingly, businesses are taking cultural preferences into account. Religion. People of different religions have different tastes. Muslims and Jewish people, for example, do not eat pork. Family size. Larger families will buy in bulk. Some goods sell in family size amounts, such as breakfast cereal or washing powder. So as you can see, whilst all these are minions and they all like Gru, well most of them, and they all like evil, well most of them, they all actually can be seen as having very different ages, gender, income, depends how evilly successful they are, their family size, ethnicity, religion, yes they do actually have a religion if you've watched the Minions movie, and social class. So even minions can actually demonstrate a demographic profile. Your final task is to segment the market for these 3 products and select your promotional method and justify your decisions. So I've chosen 3 products. If you really can't get your head around them, then you can change the products, but I've chosen these because they will come up with very different segments. So your first job, a Dyson vacuum cleaner. In the red square, you need to come up with what promotional method you're going to use. But I'd possibly leave that one last. Fill in the blue bits first, the demographic information. Fill in the age, gender, income, social class, ethnicity, religion and family size of who you think buys the vacuum cleaner. Once you've got an idea of who they are, then you'll actually know how to talk to them, which is the red bit, which is your promotional method. So go for blue, then red, and then the final square at the bottom, justify your decision. Then who you've chosen, you need to justify it, and the method you've chosen, you need to justify it. So 2 things in the green square at the bottom. So that's how you would complete the table. Then you go across to Billie Eilish concert tickets, and then you go across to the Ford Ka car. Now I'm trying to make sure they're very different target markets, very different segments. So this isn't about whether you think they're the trendiest product in the world. This is about the segments of the market. Believe it or not, you've now reached the end of the lesson. You've completed 5 main tasks on this, which is the revision of promotion examples for inform, remind and persuade, the B2B and B2C questions with the definitions, the brand analysis table, the car and the holiday market segments, and then the promotional methods and market segment and justification, all of it consolidated together. That's it. You have now successfully completed lesson 6. Thank you for completing this week's lesson. There will be a quiz uploaded as normal to assess what you've remembered from this lesson, and hopefully I'll see you soon.